Welcome, Gail. I'm so happy to see you today. It's always great when we get to chat.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Everyone, I want you to meet my virtual friend, Gail Dixon. Gail, I have so many virtual friends in this lifetime anymore. 5 years ago, I would have never dreamed of having so many friends all over the country, not just in Texas, not just in the United States, but everywhere. How do you feel about that?
I love that. It, there are people that I know only virtually with whom I have very deep relationships where people I see day to day in my own community haven't gone that deep. And I think it really tells us about how much we want to be connected. And I, for one, am so grateful that I entered the virtual world before the pandemic. So when the pandemic made virtual the only way we could be connected, I already had good connections. I wasn't starting from the bottom. And but I'm very grateful for that.
I am too. Some of my dearest and nearest friends are virtual. And let me tell you, here just in the last 8, 12 weeks, I've gotten to meet two of those. And both of those were in Vegas. And it is extraordinary when you can wrap your arms around one of your virtual friends that
Oh,
you've had for
absolutely.
friends for a while.
We'll
And
do that one day, LaDonna. You and I
yes,
will do that. Let's make a date.
yes, absolutely, because it makes the bond even deeper. But I've shared so many feelings, and so many feelings have been shared with me over time, over, you know, all the virtual platforms we have make it so easy. So, Gail, I want to tell everyone about Gail Dixon and what she does for people, for people all around the world, what she can do. So, Gail, I did a little research on Gail Dixon as well. I know you somewhat. I've been on different social platforms, meetings, summits with you. But you know what? It's always fun to go and do that search. So it says that you are a brand consultant, that you do leadership development. You teach people how to publicly speak. You do public speaking. You do change management. So, Gail, in just a short little phrase that you would say about yourself, what would that be?
What I would say about myself is that I harness the power of language to enrich people's lives and make an impact in the world for good.
Oh, that is powerful, Gail. And I hope everyone really looked and heard what you said, not just the words. The words are powerful, but it's how you said it. It's how the words rolled off your tongue and came out of your mouth and the impact that each word makes when you say that. That's beautiful, Gail. Thank you so much. Gail,
Mm.
um, there's a phrase that I picked up from you, and I really, when I go to search things, it's what I pick up. Other people may pick up other things.
Mhm.
So this is what I picked up, and I really want your answers to come from your heart, mind, body, and soul. What does, what really do you think about? What impact do you want to make? What do you want people to see and hear you say about guiding budding influencers to voice their soul truth for maximum impact?
Okay. LaDonna, I believe that each of us carry in our hearts and souls a piece, a little speck of divine truth that before we were even born, Source whispered into us. And it is our soul contract to bring that piece of truth to light in the world, to live into it, to share it, to express it. Some people call it purpose. Some people call it reason for being. Some people call it mission. But every one of us has something It's the thing that we hope we're remembered for, a message that matters. And it is the thing that at the heart we are, at the heart we are. And many of us have a hard time putting our finger on that or hearing what it is. And that's because we start making up our identity based on the roles and the relationships and the responsibilities we carry in life rather than on the truth we carry inside. So, what I do is help people, regardless of what's going on around them, change, transition, upheaval, roles, responsibilities, to tune in to what's that piece in you that gives your life meaning and purpose. And then figure out how to express that into the world, because truth is only truth if it's shared. It's only truth if it's heard by somebody else. So it's about then, once you hear and acknowledge and embrace that truth in yourself, then, I help folks sometimes when they're searching for that and can't quite clean out the clutter to get to it. Then once they find it, how do they express it? Where do they find the people who are most meant to hear it? What language needs to frame around that truth so that that audience can hear it best? And it is when that truth is heard and shared that it then has the impact of being lived. And so that is find the essence, share it, and live into it.
Oh my goodness, Gail. It sounded like you were talking about me. Do you ever feel that way when someone talks? You could be in rooms of hundreds, but no, she must be talking directly to me. How did she get into my mind? As a child, I come from a very traumatic childhood. I met my husband. God graced me with a man of my life, my best friend at 15 years old. We've been married for almost 41 years now. And my best friend, my soulmate, God brought him to me very early, just in time to save me. I really believe that. But when 18, we got married right after I graduated high school. And I wanted to be the best wife ever. I wanted to go to college. I wanted to be a nurse. I was going to help everyone. And that was my way of coping with the traumatic. I wasn't going to be that anymore. I wasn't going to be that person anymore. I thought that's what God wanted me to do, my higher power, whatever it may be, right? So then the U.S. Army said, "Oh, you're going to Germany." So I didn't get to finish nursing school, but I was still trying to be my very best wife I could be. And we went to Germany. And then, Gail, we decided to have a family. I was going to be the best wife and the best mom ever. And I was going to bring the community together on base and I was active. And then you raise these children. And then you think, well, what am I supposed to do now?
You think, who am I now that I'm not parenting on a
And okay, I'm the best wife I could possibly be. I've taken the classes. I've done the best job that I can try to be. I don't think you're ever great enough at anything in our minds. And then I'm the best mom I could ever be. I'm so much greater than what I ever thought I would be. And then you become the greatest grandma you think you could be. And I'm still thinking, but what was I really put on earth to do? And then, Gail, it shined on me. I still need to be helping others. So that's what I do. But I still have this little pebble in my gut that says, is this my purpose? And you use the word purpose. Is this my purpose? Is this what I was put on earth to do? I don't know. Do we ever find the true answers and happy with it? But I feel really good about where I'm at right now.
And I think that how I see you, how I receive you in the world is as someone who is an ultimate nurturer of people and people fulfilling their purpose through their business. I experience you as that ultimate nurturer. So I think that you were really, that purpose is to nurture in a way that we don't think about. You know, when people talk about business advisors or business coaches or those kinds of things, we don't generally use the word nurture. But that's what comes to me from you is that you're here for the nurture. You're here to be that person who attends to the well-being of that person in their business, through their business.
Absolutely, Gail. And I strive for that each and every day. I don't care if it's someone at the grocery store I'm standing in front of or behind. I'm that girl. If a baby's crying and mom's trying to check out, I'm trying to talk to baby. You know, just, and I think that comes, and I'm telling this story because I don't think I'm the only one out there that has experienced the things that I have experienced. Maybe not everyone's experienced, but something similar. I didn't get that nurturing when I was young, so I want to give it now. I want to let everyone know how it feels to be nurtured and know that you have somebody here on your side. So I think you really did it spot on.
Well, and I think that your story about even the person in the grocery store line, what is so wonderful about you is that your nurture is so readily available and so present to be able to meet the moment. And a lot of people, it's like, okay, I can take care of somebody for 2 hours a day. I can do this task for someone. I can, I can listen to somebody in an hour call. But for you, it's that the well in you, the well of love and care in you is so deep that it's available in circumstances where people may not even know they need it or may not even be expressing they need it, but someplace in your soul, you recognize the need. And you are so brilliant at knowing that it doesn't need to be a gushing fountain of nurture. It can be a single drop. It can be as much as saying, thank you. I really appreciate the way you wrapped that,
Absolutely.
and that for you, the absence of nurture in your childhood and the recognition of that, you are, I would say, here's a person who wants to make sure that everybody she encounters has at least one drop. Nobody goes dry and without nurture.
I love that. Just one drop. If that's all it really takes sometimes. That is brilliant.
And now in this conversation, you've experienced what I do with people.
Yes, and I love it. And this is why I love having interviews with brilliant people like yourself, Gail, is that this is a time that you can really show people what you do, but how you do it as well. And that is what brings the beauty out in your brilliance, your know-how, your knowledge. So another thing that really stuck to me that you said in one of your social medias is, and I want you to really tell me how you feel and how you want others to feel about this and what for them to take away with. Are you feeling heartbroken at falling short of making an impact? You know what? Sometimes we all feel that we could have done that better. We should have done that. We should have done that different. So, what does this really mean to you? And what do you want us to take away from it?
Well, for me, what that means is that we all want to feel like there's a reason that we're here. We all want to feel like we matter, and we want to feel like we matter for something that matters to us. Okay. I don't want to matter because I look pretty or because I, you know, have a certain education or have achieved a certain level of financial comfort or have white skin or whatever that is. That's not why I want to matter. I want to matter for something that matters to me. And I think all of us want that. At the end of the day, we hope that there is left on this earth some good residue from us having been here.
Absolutely.
And there are people who, and I hear it from a lot of people. If I disappeared tomorrow, it wouldn't matter to anybody. Nobody would notice if I wasn't there. Or my life doesn't add up to much. I really haven't done anything worthy in life. And it's really important to me that people know that they don't need pulpits or platforms or podiums or big world changing. I'm not here to say you only count when you have the single message that changes the world, because I think there are only a few individuals in history who've had messages that big, and we generally call them prophets. There are only a few of them, but there's something, there's some piece that you contribute that when your earthly existence is no longer and you've traveled to a next plane, there's some residue of you, and you want to know that that's going to be there. You want to know that you matter. And so if people are reaching certain stages in their lives and they've worked and strived and they've done what they think they're supposed to do and they've fulfilled the expectations and responsibilities of parents and teachers and leaders and bosses, partners, and all of that, and yet they don't feel like they've landed on the thing that's supposed to matter.
Absolutely.
I want folks to find that,
Yes.
because I think that's when we begin to recognize that we are all part of one great truth, which is love. And that kind of idea about the scattering of stardust, we're all, Neil deGrasse Tyson says scientifically, we're all made of stardust. And I think we're meant to grow toward being one star again, ultimately. And so how are we making sure that our stardust is seen and scattered? So when we know, and some of us are not going to know that that moment is coming, but we need to be reassured in our hearts that we have been enough, shared enough, that there will be some essence of us that transcends us beyond this earthly life.
Yes, absolutely, Gail. And you know what? It's just like this kind of goes with what we just talked about. And my next question for you just kind of goes along with it because it's who you are, Gail Dixon. It's who you are. It's what you're about. It's what you believe. It's what I tell people I'm in love with my business. Not in love with my business like I am my husband, my children, my grandchildren, but I'm in love with what I do because I truly believe in it. And when you talk about the star, why can't we all be a part of that shining star and know we belong there? Why can't we be a shining star right now on this earth and know why we're here? Believe in ourselves. It's I'm going to give you a prime example. Someone, and it really broke my heart to a certain extent, but you know what I said is shame on them. And I did it with a smile because someone said, "Oh my goodness, I belong to a millionaire club. I wished I could invite you because everyone in the club has to be a millionaire." I never said if I was a millionaire or not, Gail, because it's nobody's business. But what I said is, oh my goodness, look how much they're missing out on by not having me there.
There you go.
And it just came out of my mouth. And after the talk was over, I went, good for me.
Good job. Exactly.
Because I didn't even know where that came from. But it was so, when I went back and I watched the recording, I went, wow, me. Because shame on them for judging on anything, good or bad. Don't judge anyone
Well,
because
and
you don't know what you don't know. But I'm telling you this because I want everyone to know you are a star. You are a shining star of some kind. Maybe it's for your children, your husband. Maybe you were a teacher. Maybe you're an astronaut. Maybe you're a fireman. Maybe you're a farmer. Maybe you're a housewife, but you are a shining star, one shape or another.
exactly. And it's interesting because I talk about it in the sense of, that idea of you drop the pebble in the pond and then the ripples go out. And I think some of us, the ripple only goes as wide as an immediate. First of all, we have to know that we can create the ripple, that we're that drop. And then, so we have to create it inside us first or recognize it. I don't think we created it. I think it was bestowed on us. But I think we have to recognize it and honor it in ourselves. And then that we take it out. And first we start in a concentric circle in our closest, most intimate relationships. And then we expand it to a bigger, broader family. And then perhaps a bigger circle, our workplace or our communities. And then more bigger and global and universal. Some of us have such an intense ripple that it goes way out in lots of those far circles. Sometimes that's all those people who have that very intense ripple. Sometimes that ripple is all those people do. And other people live all the practicalities of daily life for them. Their food is brought to them, their clothes are taken care of for them, they're driven around, they're chauffeured, their schedules are maintained. When your ripple is that big, you got to have lots of minions. Okay. A lot of us don't have minions. I mean, I'm a single woman, almost 73 years old, living alone. I have some minions. I have some folks who do my lawn. I have some folks who come and clean my house, but I don't have the cook or the chauffeur or the clothes cleaner or the shopper or the whatever. I don't have those things. So my ripple is a little smaller. I hope it occasionally ripples out nationally, but I have to be conscious that the ripple, what's important, what's crucial is that the ripple starts.
Absolutely.
How wide it goes is not about how important it is. How important it is that it starts.
Yes, absolutely. And that takes me to how it starts within ourselves. And that takes me to what we say to ourselves and about ourselves creates our reality. I hear so much negativity in this world that we live in today. And I really resonates with me. And again, I seen it somewhere with your name on it. And this was just a bit of what I found. So really tell me how that makes you resonate and what it makes you feel and how you want others to think about it.
Okay, so You know, very often we think that the words we say are describing our experience. And I would say that the words we say to ourselves and about ourselves sometimes create our experience. Because if the words are words of connection, compassion, creativity, possibility, we live into that. If the words are words of anger and doubt and frustration and criticism and judgment and separation, that's what we create. You know, I'll own out loud, I come from the Christian tradition and look at, and therefore look to the Hebrew scripture as the first scripture. And the first words are, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And if I take that, and I'm not a literalist about the Bible in any sense, but that passage, the Word was God. The Word is how we understand who we are. It's how we understand what's important. And so if that's so, it's critically important that the words that we use are words that make us seem and feel seen and heard and valued and loved and connected. And most importantly, the words that count us worthy, because so many people in this world, for whatever reason and through whatever experience, don't count themselves as worthy of love, worthy of success, worthy of respect. Some of them have old, lifelong tapes echoing in their heads from parents, from society. Some of us carry factors about ourselves, our abilities, our appearance, our skin color, our gender identity, or whatever, that put us out of the mainstream, if you will. And we begin to measure our worth. And it's natural. It's natural in society that we measure worth by the greatest common experience. But I guarantee you that all of us can walk into a room and be the other. You know, we will encounter an experience of being other. And if we let that experience of being other also be an experience of being unworthy, that is how we live our lives.
Yes, absolutely.
And so for me, it's about remembering the flip side of that coin, which is, if we are one, there is no other, because we are one.
Yes, I love that. And you know what? We can build up another person, or we can bring down another person. But Gail, why? I have so much joy telling somebody else, I love your hair today. Oh my goodness, your children are so well behaved at the restaurant. Or thank you for being a veteran. Or I love your eye color or your lip color. These little things can make another person feel so great and so rewarded for themselves.
Yeah. And, you know, I think that you said why, and I want to address that because, you know, you clearly, I this moment am thanking God and Source for bringing your husband into your life, as you say, saving you just in time, saving you so that you did not carry the wounds of your childhood into your whole life and live through those wounds without ever healing them. But I think that we have a society and a culture, Western civilization, and now modern civilization pretty much, that lives in a one up, one down, and a win-lose paradigm. It lives in a separation paradigm, which leads to a scarcity paradigm, which leads to an ego paradigm. Because if we live in a win-lose, up-down, in-out paradigm, all of us, because of that strong need, I mean, you know where belonging, love and belonging sit on Maslow's hierarchy, okay? We have a desperate need to belong. It comes from the days when people alone didn't survive. You had to live with the tribe. You had to live with the tribe. We still have to live with the tribe. The tribe is all of us.
Yes.
But we've got to know that. And that comes from having that full well inside of us so that we have enough of it to share. If I believe I only have one drop, am I going to drop that drop in order to create a ripple? No, I'm going to protect that drop. I'm going to put it in a glass case so nobody else can get it. I'm going to not even let anybody know I have it, because what would happen if I lost it? It is when we know that we are full and abundant. We only need to recognize it. We only need to give it a name. When
Wow.
we name it in ourselves, then we're able to share.
That is extraordinary. I mean, wowzer. I'm going to say wowzer, Gail, because how much information you just gave us. And I'm going to ask you for one more nugget.
Okay.
Are you ready? One more nugget.
I'm ready.
All
I'm
right.
ready.
Gail, you give me one or maybe two golden nuggets, a sneak peek per se behind the curtain treat that you want others to know about you anytime that you speak in a group or even one-on-one.
Oh, I want people to know that they matter and that they carry a message that matters. And that message is one of the many ways that all of us speak one language, which is love.
Wow, love. There we go. That is the key word, end of our interview today. And what better way to leave than with love?
Yep.
That's all we've got to do. People, love ourselves, love one another. Love. Thank you so much, Gail, for being here. Everyone, this has been a beautiful interview. My name is LaDonna Maccabee, and we have had the honor of speaking with Gail Dixon today. Gail, thank you so very much. And I
Thank
look
you.
forward to seeing you again. Have a beautiful rest of your day and week. Bye-bye now, everyone.
Thank you.